now we are focusing on how do we manage network configuration on our Linux systems. Now, one more important thing is that as we know that generally Linux systems are used remotely. So although from the graphical user interface of a Linux system, you can also configure your network and manage the rules, etc. But our main focus will remain on the command line. So we will try to look at different commands that we have on Linux systems that allow us to view our network configuration and manage our network configuration. So just to start with, this is my Linux system. I have taken a putty of it. Now suppose if I have to just see how many network connections I have. So the command for that is ip-link. Now this says what? This says that I have a loopback connector. Whenever our network interface comes up, the loopback IP also comes up. So this loopback connection is the same. Okay. So this is for our own system. Then it says that I have got one more connection, that is ENP0S3. And after that, the properties of this connection are coming. Then I have got ENP0S8 and the connection properties are coming here. Okay. Here you can see the state also. It says that this state is up, this state is down, and so on. Okay, so this command only tells us what are the connections my system is having. Then suppose if you want to know what is the IP address of your system. So actually the latest command that we use it is called IP address. Okay, whether I run command this as IP address or IP space ADDR or IPA, all are the same. Okay, all these three commands are same in nature. The IPA is a short form, ADDR is a short form. The clear command is IP address. So I can also write this like this. So first of all, it shows the loopback connection and it says that okay, its IP address is 127.0.0.1/8. So as if you remember, we discussed that in our class A IP addresses, we don't use the 127 series. This is the class A IP address, but we don't allocate it to any host because of this being the loopback IP. My ENP0S3 has an IP address of 192.168.1.16. This is also up, and this is the broadcast IP. So for this subnet, this is a class C IP address. So for this subnet, the broadcast becomes this. I also have a IPv6, but that is not being used right now. My ENP0S8 has got no IP address allocated to it. Now this Ethernet IP, this one, I think this will be the MAC address of my cards. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now one more thing is that suppose IP route. Now, if you remember in our networking discussions, I told you even on our system in which we have got multiple networks, we can have multiple LAN cards associated with our system, and then I can define for say reaching which IP I need to use which route. So once my system has got multiple network interfaces, I can select that okay, if I want to access a third network within my office, I will use my first interface. If I have to access say public URL like google.com, I will use the second interface, and this is done by using the static routes. So if you want to see the routes on your system, the command is IP route. So right now you can see on my system there is only one route. So this says that default route is 192.168.1.1. So this 1.1 is nothing but the IP address of my default gateway, or the local IP address of the gateway that has been provided to me by my telephones by internet service provider. And this particular route is added automatically, right? So this route says if I have to reach any IP address in the subnet of 192.168.1.0. So this is my subnet number. Always remember, this is representing this entire subnet. So it says that if I have to reach any machine in this subnet, then use this particular device. Okay. and the source IP that will be sent is the IP address of my machine. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, one command that you already know, we have discussed this before, is ping command. So ping is the command that I can use to check the connectivity. So this is a public IP. I ping this. It shows me that I am able to receive the bits. The time is 7 seconds or something. If I will run the same command with a local IP, so you see, my TTL here is 119, my TTL here is 64. Here I am able to receive the response in 1.4 millisecond. Here I am receiving response in 7 milliseconds, 25 milliseconds, and so on. So ping is a tool that allows you to see whether you are able to reach a certain IP or not. Then we will have some command like trace path. Right? I can run the same command again. So this will tell me through which path this request is going. Now in our case, since I have only got a single route, the request will go to my gateway and then to Airtel network, and then finally it will go to that particular IP address. Wherever you can see no reply, it means that these are the routers or the hops, as we say them. But these routers or hops are not allowing the ping response. Okay. So this is something. Similarly, there is a command called traceroute. So again, similar thing it does, but here it is able to give you a. So here once it does not receive a reply, it cannot proceed further. But trace route command just skips these hops. So this is the hop where my ping was blocked, or ICMP packets were blocked. So it could not show any information over here. But then once it reached google.com, it was able to show the same. So it says that first I reached 192.168.1.1, then I reached this particular host. So it might be some router in network, in Airtel's network. Then again, this reaches the corporate network. Okay. Then it reaches this particular IP. Okay. And then it reaches this particular router, which is which we are not able to find. Right. And finally, we reach the dns.google.com. Okay. So again, a very useful commands whenever you are trying to figure out what is the path the packets are taking. This is that you can do. Another command that we had already seen is called telnet command. Okay, the telnet command is not for our own system, but it is there was a time when we could use telnet command for remote connections also. But telnet is not a secure command, so we don't no longer use this command for remote connections. Okay, we only use telnet command for checking the connectivity in case the ICMP are blocked. So for any particular machine, if I have to check whether that machine is listening on a particular port or not, then I can try to write it like this. So obviously this 1.1 is not even on the server, so it will not give me any response. But let me try to do this with, say, you see, I was able to telnet my host on 443 port, and it said it is connected to this system, right? And the escape character is this. So basically, I am able to say that I am able to create a connection on a specific port, right? So that means that device is listening to port 443. Okay. So this is command that we can use for this purpose. For our own system, we use netstat command or SS command, right? SS is the latest command. Netstat command is something that has been, like, we can say it has been like obsolete command now. So we can simply write SSS minus NALP, or you can use other flags also. So it can show you all this information. Let me just reduce the size of this a bit. So change settings. In Putty, you can change all your appearance if you want. I will just set this to a lower value. Right, and I will just try to write this command, and I can just write less after this so that we can see the output line wise. So this is nothing. These are all the connections that are coming. So the output of SS command is a bit different than our netstat command. So if I were to run the netstat command, it will give me a simpler output. Right? It simply tells you that okay, you are connected to what and what service. Right? So these are some Unix sockets which we are not bothered about right now. We want to see. I will write NALP here, and I will again write less. So here we can see that okay, my system is listening on this. This is open. So this 0.0.0.0 star means I am listening for all. So anyone can connect me on this particular port, this port, this port. So this is my SSH port. Okay. And here's my RSS log D port. So if someone wants to send me logs and wants my server to act as a syslog server, they can actually send me logs on this particular port. If someone wants to connect with me, they can connect with me on this port number 22. So this is listen, and this is a established connection. Okay, so this is nothing but from my Windows machine, this putty session, right? So this putty session is represented by this particular line. Here you can see my HTTP port is listening on port number 8080, right? My HTTPD is listening on port number 443. So this is how we can check what ports are listening on my system. We use this a lot when suppose we are hosting a website and someone tells us that boss, we are not able to reach your server or your service. So one of the common things that we will do is we'll try to check if our port is up or not. Even when we start a service, say we start SSH service on our system, so we will go here and see whether the SSH port is listening or not. Okay, so at times when we run services on our systems, it is a possibility that our services shows that it is started, but due to some misconfiguration, some error, some bug, right, my port is not listening. That means the people out from outside will not be able to connect with that service. And it's a very common troubleshooting steps that we do. Okay, one thing that I am leaving on to all of you is that you need to know meaning of all this, right? So I am writing NALP or something, but you can always run these kind of commands and you can find out what does N mean, right? So N here means numeric. So it says that don't resolve names. Okay. So if you part something else, you can do that, right? Similarly, P means programs. So display the PID or program for sockets, right? Then A has been there or not. A is for all. Display all sockets. Okay, so whether they are connected or not. And P means NALP is L is what? Listening. Display the listening server sockets as well. Okay. Now, similarly, you can choose your own thing. If I just pass T over here, so I should be only listening on TCP IP port, right? So these are only TCP ports will come. Okay. So it depends upon you what kind of flag you want to use, but you must understand the common flags are NALP or PUNTA. PUNTA is also used in the industry. Right. So again, this is common. Okay. So if I will write this command like IP link, I don't know whether this will work. So IP link command we had seen, right? It shows the connections, right? But if I want to show the statistics of my interfaces, right? So these are the statistics. So on ENP0S3, I have received this much packets. I have transferred so many packets. These are the errors. These are the drop packets. These are missed packets. Here it is. Everything is zero because this interface is not used. This interface is used at times for some reason. So this is showing this. So again, if you want to troubleshoot your network, and if you're doubting whether my system is transferring packets or not, or receiving packets or not, you can run this command. And here you can even pass a filter. So if I will pass the interface name, only one interface will be displayed. And a common way is that I will run this command again and again. You will see these numbers changing. Right?
Yes, sir.
So it was 274 something, now it has been 275, 276. It means that my system is receiving packets. Similarly, here this number will be changing. It means that my system is transferring packets, right? So even the same stat6 you can see using the netstat minus I flag. Okay, but here this Ethernet information doesn't come. The properties of the interface does not come. Here only the stats will come. Right? Few important things. Suppose if I want to ping something on IPv6, right? So I can simply write this kind of a stuff. So it says that for IPv6, google.com is not reachable from my system. But if I have to pass IPv4, then it is reachable. So basically, I have not done the routing for IPv6, and that is why the case is. So in case you are stuck with any time, even with ping, it happens. Okay. Whenever you are stuck with this IPv4 and IPv6, and you want to force that you should use IPv4 only, then use -4 as a flag or -6 as a flag. Okay. Always you can use man command, info command, help command to check for these flags. Okay. So these are different examples of a network diagram. Okay. You can see on the right hand side. So I can open different websites and you can see it. So basically this is umldiagrams.org. This is a typical network diagram that we have. So this is how we draw our network diagrams. So we normally represent internet with a cloud. Then this is a connectivity coming from the internet. So this will be our ISP link. It lands on our router. Then it goes to a firewall. This is a very common way of putting a firewall. Now from this firewall, we are having another firewall connected to it, which is linking our database servers and application servers. So we are trying to say is that these are more critical servers. So they have one additional layer of security. Then from here, this is a simple switch, a network switch, and you connected your devices, your web servers, email servers, DNS servers with it, right? So this is one way of representing a diagram, right? We have got multiple tools available today to create these diagrams. One of the most popular tool is Microsoft Visio. It is a paid tool, very expensive, but it allows you to create very beautiful diagrams. What is the advantage of a diagram when you create it? The advantage is that you can represent a lot of information on this. So if we go complex, we can even have some diagram like this, if you will see. So if you can see it, like we can put the IP address information. Now suppose you are a part of a network team, right? And you have got this kind of a network. So one way is that you just put on the IP address as a list on an Excel sheet. But it is difficult then to know that which device is connected to which device. So network diagrams can allow us to see the IP addresses, the type of devices. So even this will be a layer 4 switch or a router. Okay. So all these companies that manufacture these equipments like servers, firewalls, routers, even say kind of AWS, Azure, all of these organizations have their standard icons for their devices. So this circular cylinder, right? This is a very common icon for or a symbol for Cisco router. Okay. Similarly, I cannot see a switch here, but let me just try to find it for you. So this is for this UML diagrams, but yeah. So if you will see this here, this particular symbol is representing a switch. Okay. These are the network computers, these are wireless access points, these are firewalls, these are servers. So this is how you will be using these, and you can put any amount of information over there. It's limitless, right? So you can create a very simple diagram if you want, like this. Right? So this is a very simple diagram in which you are connecting a end user with a router, then a switch is coming, then PCs are coming, and so on. And then this, you can see that this server is only connected to the database. This database is not directly connected to any of the PCs. You can then go ahead and start adding the IP address information, subnet information. You can even start adding the kind of switch you have, okay, or some special things that you have. So all those things are possible. Okay, as I have told you, multiple tools are available. One of the free tools that I think we have is .raw.io or apps.diagrams.net. So you can go there and create your free account. So you will see that it has this. This is your what do you say, working area, and over here on the left hand side, all these are the different pre-configured icons available. So it is not like that you are going to draw these things, right? So for example, if I have to just draw a Cisco computer, right? So if I have to just draw a computer or a workstation, I can draw it like this, simple drag and drop. Okay. So by default, this is coming in this coloring screen. I can choose to make this different. So depending upon what kind of colors you like, you can just do this. Maybe no, that is not very good. So I might choose this one, right? I might choose a different color for this, right? So this gives a different feel. Again, you can see that the line color is not there. So again, you can choose a line color also. So this becomes a bit different. Maybe I can choose this one. Again, not very good. So yeah, this will become my computer, and I can always change it, right? Similarly, if I have to choose, say, hub or a gateway, right? So this is a hub, right? You remember hub, which we don't use anymore. But say if I want to use it, I can simply place it here. Again, if I want to customize it, I can customize it, I can resize it, and then I can simply drag drop, right? So I can simply say that I want to connect it to this. So these are the connections that we can draw. For these connections, there is a standard rule that we all follow, that whenever we want to show a physical connection, we don't use these arrows. So we can remove this arrow from here. I don't know why this arrow is coming. Okay, no arrows, fine. So this is it. I can increase the size of the line if I want. So these normally, this will be your say this is what we are saying. This is a physical connection. So we are saying a physical LAN cable is going from this PC to a hub. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now again, I can draw these as multiple ones. If you have laptops, then you can draw laptops. That is not a problem. So I can just make a copy of it. I can again connect it like this. And I can keep on extending this. This is one part. Then I can just maybe I can drag these things down. Suppose I want to show a router also. Aside, so well, I will search for that. I can simply go over here and also search for router. So it shows me all these diagrams. Maybe I will try to use this one. This is a more, what do you say, three-dimensional kind of a diagram. So not a problem. I can use it. So I'm saying that this is my router. Again, I can simply either use the same connection, or I can simply show it like this. Okay. So it's entirely up to me how I want to draw it. Right. And then if I want to connect this router to again, say an internet service provider. So I can just go there and search for cloud. So I think I will be happy to use this one. And then obviously I can label them also. This is my internet service provider. I can like this and write it. Again, if I want to connect the same line over here, I can do that. So then it's about arranging how I want to arrange it, right? So this is a way I will keep on adding elements, and all these are the sample diagrams that you can always draw. Okay, so you might encounter these diagrams, and you might also create them for your own sake. Suppose you are working on a setup in which there are 5, 6, 7, 8 elements. You can use these kind of diagrams and draw it for yourself. These can be saved to your Google Drive as well, okay, automatically. So basically, I have to just log in and I can do that. And one more thing is that I can add more shapes, right? So for example, if I want to add, say, AWS shapes, Azure shapes, so I can do that. I can cloud and enterprise shapes, right? Suppose network shapes. I will just apply to this. Now you see that all these things will be added. Now suppose you want to add some services for Amazon, say you are drawing for Amazon, right? Then you can use this to represent the VPC, something like that. This to represent a server on the cloud, okay, and so on. Similarly, developer tools are there. So this is code build, analytics tools are there, but these are more of icons. But let's see if we can use some recent services. This is Azure, not CAE system. Yeah, suppose network 2.5. Let's see what is there. So these are all network elements which are now maybe the updated ones. This might be a database server. This might be a firewall. This is your maybe power bank or something like that. This is also a way to show what you say this network. Okay. So you see, these are some modernized symbols. They are better looking. This is a telephone that we have, right? Am I making sense?
Yes, sir.
Again, a better looking cloud.
Yes, sir.
So you can use all these diagrams. You can create them and use them in your work. So I have just kept a small portion of this. You can definitely go ahead and practice. What type of diagram you will create entirely depends upon you. You can visit Google and search for different types of network diagrams. As you will grow senior, you might end up drawing these kind of diagrams, because then the things that you will be working on are very complex. To start with, they can as simple as this. The idea only is to help you to immediately and quickly identify which system you have to access, what is the IP address of that system, to what other systems that the system is connected to. Even we can mention the connectivity, and we can mention, say, for example, in this particular case, I can simply go here and I can write, say, port 80, for example. Okay. So I can say that there is a port 80 connectivity over there. Am I clear? So I'm trying to say that
Yes,
my
sir.
port number 80 is connected. One more thing is that that we do is, say, suppose if I choose a server, say this one only. So for example, this is my server, and I am trying to say this is my cloud server. Okay. So just to add a text to it, I can just go over here, and I can, if I want to write some text, I can simply write like this. So say suppose this is my cloud server. Now suppose I want to show the connectivity between this cloud server and this machine, right? So now I will not be using this physical line, right? Now what I have to do is I have to use a different type of line, maybe like this. So now I can use this particular thing. I can drag it like this. So trying to show that this particular request is going through this hub or switch, and then through the router, then through a telco and reaching there. Now I will not use this solid line. I will use the connector on both sides, not only on the one side. So this particular thing shows that I have a logical connectivity, not a physical connectivity. And again, I can just say that this is right. This is again, I can say port number 443. Right. I can mention this is my say upspir.com server. Right. And then I can put IP address or subnet or something there. Right? So there is one command that is very popular even today, although it is supposed to be deprecated now. That is called ifconfig. Okay, it is possible that you are not able to find this command when you first of all install your system. Okay, because it is no longer being packaged by default. Okay, but then what you do is, but this is still used. In interviews, people can ask you what is the command to check the IP address in Linux. You can answer IP address. You can answer ifconfig. Better answer both of them. Okay. So this command, if we talk about historically, this would be one of the most used command on our Linux systems, because whenever we log into our system, it is very common practice for us to check the IP address. Very similar information it is shown here, but the format is different, as you can see. The first line is talking about broadcast, multicast, etc. Up or not. Then telling you IPv4 IP address, the network mask, the subnet mask, as we call it, the broadcast IP, then the IPv6, then the Ethernet address or the MAC address, and then the network interface information. So you see, in IP address, this information we cannot see by default. In ifconfig command, we can see this by default. When you will refer to the presentation, all these fields are described over there. So you just go through with that for the basic understanding of the key fields. But other than that, these are self-explanatory. Okay. About host name, we have already read, right? So this is my, if I want to check my host name, what is the command? We have seen that. Also host name CTL, I'm bad, I'm sorry. So right now the host name of my system is worker node. If I combine my host name with my domain name, provided I have followed a domain name, that it becomes a FQDN. That is fully qualified domain name. Then we use the DNS service to resolve this. We have already gone through with that part. So I hope you must be clear. In the presentation, I have mentioned these things again. All the important topics are there, so don't miss them. Again, we have discussed that we always have a DNS cache on our systems. So when we ping google.com, it does not mean that it will always go and check the internet connection, go to the names call servers and then come out. Right, but it can just simply take the IP address from the local cache also. Okay. So we have a file in our system that is called etcresolve.conf. We can specify our name server or our DNS server IP address over here. So in my system, because it is configured through DHCP, it has automatically put the name server as this one. In cases where you want to put manual configuration for your DNS, you can actually edit this file and put a similar line like this. So for example, YYP, and I can put a very common thing that people do is put the DNS name server over here, a Google DNS server. So this 8.8.8.8, okay. So this is a Google's DNS server, very, very frequently used whenever we are facing any DNS problems. So we do face DNS problems, like some IP addresses, some host names that people have given us. You might find in a real life scenario that they are not getting resolved. Okay. So in those cases, it's a common practice to use Google DNS. Okay. If you are using Windows systems, all these things can be done through your Windows configuration settings. But coming onto the Linux, we have a very put command that is called nmtui. Okay, nmtui. So this command allows you to receive a textual graphic interface, right? So it's not a graphical user interface, it's a textual user interface. Okay, I can use this interface through my keyboard. Okay, so if I have put down, I can go down and then enter, edit a connection, I can press enter. Then if I want to add a connection, I can add new. I can select the old connection and I can click on edit. And whatever changes I want to do, I can do it, right? So for example, edit a connection, I can go to wired. So this is ENP0S8. If I am not mistaken, this is the interface that is not configured, right? So let's verify that once. Right, I exit it. I again do a IP address. So my ENP0 as I got no IP address. Suppose if I want to configure it, I will open this, edit a connection. This wired one is nothing but that interface. Okay, so this is ENP0S8. If I want to change it, I can also give a name to it. Okay, right, and then I can come down. Here it is saying IPv4 configuration automatic. I will say manual, right, and I will say show. It says address add. So I can say 192, or even I can say 10.0.0.1, right, and /24 or /8. Because this is a private IP, I can give anything here. I don't have any gateway for it. This IP address has no gateway attached to it. So nothing, no DNS, ignore, not ignore, all things are okay. And I say okay, right? Then I will come and say back, and then I have to say okay, right? Now, if I will do PA, you will find this IP address is assigned to it. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
If I will now do IP root command, you will find, let me just do it like this. So you see one additional route has been added automatically. This route says what? If you want to reach a network of 10.0.0./8, use the interface ENP0S8 and with the source of 10.0.0.1, which is the IP address of my machine. So now what will happen is my system has got two different IP addresses, two different networks. I can attach one network interface card to a switch which is connected to the 10 zeros network. Other network interface card is automatically on Wi-Fi, so it is with the 192.168 network. So whenever my machine will try to connect to a machine which is on 10 series network, the request will go through this interface. And in this case, other case, the request will go out from this interface. Am I clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I can also add a static route. Okay. Static means these are the automatic routes that are added, right? So say for example, I will just take a example of a route which is not what do you say? It is already working, but I'm just adding one more route. Okay. So this is my host, right? This is my google.com. So I want to say that whenever you have to reach google.com, always use ENP0S3, for example. So I will write something like IP minus host, right? And I will write this IP. And then I will say gateway 192.168.1.1, and I will write device ENP0S3. Okay. So you see, this route is added. So it looks like incomplete, but we can also add few things more over here. Okay, but idea is the same, that on my system I can create static routes, and these routes can tell. So in my network, if I have got multiple different subnetworks, as we have read in subnetting, that in my office I can create different subnets. I can have different devices, different internet providers. I can define on my machine that what routes all these requests will take, and the command for that is IP route add. Okay, so this is where you add a static route. And important thing is that there is a way to make this IP route also like. Uh, uh, so at times it is possible that when I reboot my machine, I can lose this route information. So I have to also make it permanent, right? So that is something that you people have to discuss and discover how to make a IP route, static route permanent. I will ask this question to you. Moving further, I think we already have discussed DHCP. So DHCP is Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. We have done this in the networking curriculum. Please read more about this from your past thing. For now, what we are saying is, if I am writing APDD address, right? So this entire information that I'm getting, this is all DHCP information, okay? So I will get my IP address, I will get my IPv6, I will get my gateway, I will also get my lease time, I will also get my DHCP server IP, I will get my DNS server IP, and so on. So all this information I get from my DHCP server. I don't have to do any manual configuration. Okay. Again, one topic which is related to this, but we have already discussed, is this default ports for common services. So you guys must know what is a TCP port. You guys must know what is a TCP port for, say, first of all, you must know what is a socket. So I have given you the link in the presentation. You read that. In the interview, very common questions are: what is the port for HTTP, HTTPS, SNMP, POP3, SMTP, maybe DNS, and then MySQL, and so on. So you must be aware of this, right? Other than that, we have, I think, done all these things. Okay. One last thing is that we can also modify our IP address information within IP address. Okay. So I'm just doing a double tap. I'm just saying change. And then I will say that, say, 10.0.0.2/8, and then I say device ENT 0S8, right? And if I now do IP address, right, the IP address is basically added over here. Okay, so I can even do modification of IP addresses using IP address command. Okay, in Linux, actually, you can. Okay, I should have used replace command, but let me just try del 10.0.0.1/8 device ENT. My bad. You see, I can modify the IP address of my interfaces using command line also. Okay, so it is not like that you only have one tool that is called nmtui. You can do all that through your IP address command also, and even it is possible using ifconfig, but you cannot. You just do away with ifconfig for now. Remember about IP address. So in the interviews, people will ask you about this.